I want to explain how I feel I stumbled into binge eating, and maybe you'll relate to this. Of course, I'm not a food psychologist, but this is how I at least experienced it. For me, there were two things that set me up to struggle with binge eating. Or really, I should say there were two things that set me up to struggle with dieting, which then led to binging, which then led to a 10-year battle with bulimia. The first was that I was made to feel shame for being in the body I was in. And the second thing is that I was made to feel shame and have fear for my food choices. I think it's interesting to point out, though, that I did not come from a home that ever criticized my body or what I ate. I do remember my parents being on diets, but that was really the only influence I received from in my home. The reason that's important to bring up is because if you have a child, it's simply not enough that you're not talking about their body and their food choices in your home. You need to be having conversations about why these types of ideas are dangerous. So let me get back to the path that led me to binging. So the first thing that led me here again was being made to feel shame for the body I was in. Now, this is the experience of feeling either less or more worthy based on what you look like. And this drives a person to want to control their body to gain acceptance and love. This false sense of worth can get solidified really in anyone's mind who's been exposed to the idea that gaining weight or being a bigger person is bad. Now to the second thing, which was feeling shame or scared for my health based on my food choices. Now, this is the idea that there are good foods and bad foods. Now, the subliminal messaging is that good foods promise to bring good health, make you a more upstanding and worthy person, while bad foods will cause disease, maybe even death. And not only that, this is the subliminal messaging. If you eat bad foods, you're either fat, uneducated, lazy, have no self-control, or maybe just a combination of all four of those things. And I think it's a little funny to also point out that the bad foods that you're not supposed to eat will vary based on whatever diet or lifestyle change or wellness plan that you're prescribing to in that moment. Now, those two things I just explained most often will lead a person to living a life where they are obsessed and hyper aware of everything they can do to change or fix their body. Because again, the subconscious belief behind all of this is that if we can change our body, we will gain acceptance, attention, status, and love. But here's what no one tells you. Overexercise and food restriction most always will lead to binging. It's just what the human brain does. Our body is sending signals to our brain that we are being deprived, and so we binge as a method of survival. But what's interesting is diet culture doesn't tell you it's a brain thing. Diet culture tells you you had a moment of weakness. You don't have enough self-discipline. I'm gonna have to split this into two parts. This is part one. I'll start part two in another video.